Austin Show is brought to you by Slow Coast Studios, Wichita's home for EPKs, live recording, podcasts, really any audio-visual stuff that you might need.
Get with PK Pest Management for all of your pest control needs, 316-305-7108. For any termite inspections or anything under the sun, we'll take care of any problem that you have.
Sacred Leaf is Wichita's favorite CBD store. They grow their own fields out in Colorado. They make a lot of their own products. Stop by, see Nikki, tell them Aaron and Austin sent you.
Get with JEllis Kitchen. They are turning Mondays into Taco Tuesdays over there at the Shamrock Pop-Up. We love everything that JEllis is doing.
It's like a Taco Tuesday pregame.
They got fried tacos that they do all the time.
With this really good, like, pineapple salsa.
Pineapple,
it's pretty fire, like...
Yeah, dude, it's fire. Make sure you get out to Diaper Jam 2024 this year. We've moved locations. We're not at Champs this year. We're moving over to Bourbon Street. We're going to have a great time. We're on 420 this year. So come out. We're going to have vendors. There's going to be food. We're going to have tons of bands. There'll be plenty of people announced coming up. Make sure that you come out to Diaper Jam. All you need to bring is a package of diapers, from the tiniest ones to adult diapers. It doesn't matter. Bring a package of diapers and get you in the door for all days worth of fun.
The whole thing benefits Wichita Children's Home, so dig deep. Aaron and Austin Show will be out there advertising and promoting and talking to everybody, so come say hi.
Yeah, we're going to be live on location all day long podcasting while the concerts are going on, while the fun's going on, while the vendors are out there, so make sure you get out and support them.
The Aaron and Austin Show wants to give a huge shout out to Eddie at Wichita by EB. Go check out his podcast, The Editorial. Check out all the stuff he's doing for food trucks. He releases a list of where the food trucks are going to be. He releases a list of where the bands are going to be playing. Just an amazing dude. Go support him. Find Wichita by EB. Support him however you can. Detox has been helping Wichita detox for 15 years. They have a great selection of CBD products, mushroom gummies, kratom, kava, and even legal THC. Hit them up, www.alloutdetox.com, or give them a call, 316-554-7459. Be all in with All Out Detox. Diaper Jam 2024, the biggest lake party in Kansas. We have Brantley Gilbert, Stone Temple Pilots, Demon Jones, Wheeler Walker Jr., Upchurch, and Joe D. Messina. So it's going to be a killer lineup. More to come. A bunch of locals popping up on that. There's a whole beach party stage. We haven't announced an act on.
Yeah, and then we've got just so much going on at that show. Make sure that you're going to be out there. It's July 19th and 20th this year out at Lake Afton. Get your tickets as early as you can. There's going to be more announcements, more people coming out. They're doing 2 stages this year. The Aaron and Austin show is going to be in the VIP section, podcasting live at the lodge all weekend long. It's going to be a blast. There's going to be camping. There's going to be dad bod contests. There is going to be a car show.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Awesome.
Aaron and Austin radio show. It's fucking awesome. If you like fun, then you know where to go. The Aaron and Austin show.
What fucking episode are we on even?
Dude, that's what I was about to say. Motherfucking 95.
95? Holy shit.
90 fucking 5, bro. We're almost to the fucking century mark.
That's
We're
awesome.
really close. We got Tony Lee in here from Nest Records. We'll get to that real quick. 42 Below, new owners, new management. They got 2 great locations. Make sure you get over there on the Tyler location, and they're over off of East Douglas as well, in the old location that everybody knows about. We also got R&J's that hit them with it.
So R&J's has a whole shelf we found today of bourbons that are casked and bottled for that location. So this is the Copper cask made for R&J Discount Liquors. 5-year. This is 114 proof.
Shout out to Dustin over there.
A whole big bottle of whip ass.
Shout out to Dustin, our official sponsor over there at R&J's. They have been nothing but great to work with since the second they signed on. So we're really glad to have them on.
Go check them out for some of those exclusive bourbons and whiskeys. And always good deals on stuff. We got a bottle of rum there for like $7. Boys.
Oh, the rum. Yeah, the rum ain't bad. But anyway. So make sure you get to Diaper Jam and Damn Jam. All the things going on those festivals wise, and get with us for sponsorship. We got ticket giveaways coming up for Damn Jam, and we'll do a special promotion for all that. So we'll get with you. And Bang Niner Gang. We are in the Super Bowl, baby. Ain't nobody cares about the Chiefs. I hope we win that.
Yeah, you're in Kansas right now.
I know
you're a 49ers fan.
I know I'm a 49er
Kansas.
fan, and
it's a good day for you, but like
still, I mean, trying to fuck with the Chiefs ain't no easy task. So, but here we are. Introduce yourself to let the Aaron and Austin
Nest
show.
Records in the house.
Everybody knows Nest Records and For the Birds, but go ahead and let everybody know what's going on.
Yeah, my name's Tony, and I've been singing and playing in For the Birds for over 10 years, and we started a label called Nest Records about 3 years ago. Been playing in the Wichita surrounding area that whole time, tons of shows.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, man. Bunch of really cool showcases with all your lineup.
Yeah, so it's a mixture of different artists, hip-hop artists, bands. At some point we had some glass blowers and just kind of collective of different talents and artistry all kind of under the same umbrella.
Bet.
Question, was that you doing the intro song?
Yeah.
I thought so.
Well, him and give credit to John Vogues as well. They both put that together.
So I played drums.
Shout out and thank you, John Vogues, for everything you've done.
I played drums, bass, and sang on that, and then John played the guitar parts and sang backup.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a couple of we had an original song that we were calling ourselves AA meeting, so we had to change it just because we didn't want to be disrespectful to the.
Yeah. You call yourself AA meeting, and then you
because it was
Aaron
and Austin AA meeting. It was kind of a clever name, but still, we didn't want to be disrespectful.
It ended up being, I think, disrespectful, so we stopped.
Yeah, it was funny.
It was funny, but it's not a thing to do.
Yeah, but yeah, this guy's actually a slogan making machine. You need a.
I like the jingles, man. Like full songs. Who's got the attention span for that anymore?
Right,
you know,
jingles,
man. That's where it's at. That's you remember Demolition Man?
The movie?
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah!
Where everybody's listening to the jingles.
Sylvester, yeah, because when they listen to his Armor hot dogs.
Yeah.
Taco Bell ruled.
Well, all they listened to on the radio was fucking commercials. So that was fucking hilarious. So, what was the first For the Birds is older than Nest Records?
Yeah, and
so what was your first band? It wasn't For the Birds. You've been doing this for a little while.
It wasn't. I was in a band that probably nobody remembers, but a select few people in Valley Center called Seventh Fall, and metal band. I was singing. To take it even farther back than that, my brother-in-law, his name was Mike. We all called him Lucky. Was an excellent guitarist. He was really good friends with Del Rey Shuey. And Mike was engaged to my sister, and that was really the beginning of my experience seeing people write and create music together. Original
content?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I would just sit for hours and watch them play. And, of course, the music was great, and their skills were great. But what really captured me was their ability to read each other's minds. I couldn't fathom how he could just play one thing and then he could do another thing.
Oh, like that improv jam thing.
It just worked together, and they would move from place to place, telling stories, painting pictures in my mind, and that really captivated me and started, I think, where I really decided that I wanted to be a creative person. I did drumline, drums since 6th grade, had a lot of experience in that, but even then, never really had the passion for it. Didn't understand the togetherness that music could bring. And it was watching them and seeing that interconnectivity between two separate beings that really started to trigger something in me. And tragically, Mike passed. I went over to my sister's house every day for that whole next year and just sat there and played on his Fender, which was actually eventually she was just like, you just need to take it home. And when For the Birds got started, that was the guitar I used for the first 8 years of my career in For the Birds.
I bet.
Yeah, it took a little bit probably to take that home, with a little bit of fuck.
And it was his baby, and I know that was important to her. She saw that I wasn't giving up.
Well, and even though I wasn't a musician, but I could see how even you would want that instrument to live on, somebody that gave a shit.
There are iconic instruments just because of the people that played them, you know what I mean? Like Jimi
especially
Hendrix,
if you got
Strat.
something, even if it on a lower level, something that's just passed down to your family, that's kind of
sure.
got some nostalgia to it. That's
it's got
awesome.
the juju, man. It's got the
for sure. There's
the
something
vibe and the.
Still to this day, all the times it shows, different times, I'll just be hit by this emotion and kind of this wondering. I'm like, I wonder if he'd be proud, and it's been years and years and years, but it still hits me sometimes being on stage, and I'm like, man,
You just kind of hope, right?
I do, and I think he would be, I think so, but there are these moments that still happen all the time that I'm just kind of hit by presence. And I just kind of think about what would I be doing if I hadn't had that influence in my life.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, those are the nice turns on a road when they go the right way too. especially when you can find something creative. I mean, there's so many roads that don't lead that way. And they don't want you to go that way. They want you to get married, get early, go do factory shit, go do bullshit. It's like,
for me, I always wonder, like,
when somebody
could I be making money right now?
But it's
awesome.
when you get a nice turn on the road and you get to do something creative and something that you love. I hope anybody's proud of that. Like any of especially the people we've lost to too early, for sure.
And keep losing.
So to kind of tell the story of Nest, you have to tell the story of For the Birds. And it's right in that vein. So I pick up the guitar. I'm inspired to play. Having a terrible battle with addiction off and on all through from when I was probably 15 to 25, 26 years old. I remember at that time, my parents had moved me back in Derby. They were really worried. Like, hey, we got you a place. Just come here and stay. I'd already been in and out
They
of
want to keep an eye on your ass.
and outpatient treatment multiple times. And yeah, my parents they would send my sisters over to come check on me because they didn't want to come find a body. That's kind of where we were at.
But shout out to your parents for caring. I mean,
they did. And, I'm sorry for all the pain and suffering and worry, but I'm very fortunate to have a very supportive family, and so much love to them. And so I was fresh out of my second stay in a full inpatient rehab. Actually left a few days early because that was when Mike died, to come attend his funeral.
Oh, gotcha.
And got home and just threw myself into the playing. And right around that time, the original singer for the Birds had showed up to my house 8 o'clock in the morning. We were in the middle of a big beef. I won't go into it. It was over some girls. But I was like, I put my sneakers on, and I was like, today is the day. Today is the day that it gets handled. I just thought he wanted to come over and fight.
Yeah.
And
so we're ready we got our dukes ready.
yeah, I was ready. And he was a fighter. I'm not saying that I was like confident, but I was ready.
Yeah, this ain't gonna be fun.
And I looked down. I was in an upstairs apartment. I looked down. I see that he's kind of stumbling around in his truck. And so I walked down there, and I'm like, hey, man, what's going on with you? And he was like, I don't have anywhere safe to go. I haven't been to bed in days. I heard you got sober, and I have nowhere to go. I was like, okay, come up inside.
God, this went a whole different way.
Yeah,
right. It did. And come upstairs. As long as you don't bring any of my drugs into my house, you can stay on my couch. So a few days pass. He sleeps for days in a row.
Yeah.
Trying to catch up a bit.
He wakes up and he's like, hey, man, thanks for being here. We started writing music, which became the very first music that For the Birds ever had. Yeah. So there was a drummer that was playing at church with him. He reached out to us. He really wanted an opportunity to play, seen something in both of us. So we started playing at his house. Things started moving forward. And we were really throwing ourselves into the music because that was something
to curb the addiction part
that
of it.
kept us from getting high.
Yeah.
So we would go to practice.
You need something. You need something to addict yourself to. I mean, because that personality doesn't disappear. You got to find other shit. You got to find positive shit to channel your energy towards.
In my experience, addiction takes up a slice of the pie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when you drop a thing out, you have to like pick a thing up or expand.
You got to fill the void.
Yeah, you got to fill the void.
Yeah, you got to fill the void.
That's better said. That's better.
We would play all day, all night.
Were you guys For the Birds at this point? Have you? The name hadn't come out yet.
No. So I'll get to the why For the Birds is For the Birds and how that came about. We're almost there.
That's what I thought.
So
I'm a bit of a gun jumper.
We've got and he's playing bass and singing, and I'm playing guitar, doing harmonies. Steven was playing drums. We knew we needed a lead guitarist. A girl that I was dating at the time was like, hey, I know this guy. I think he plays guitar. And I was like, okay, whatever. And actually went and met Icy the first time. I was like, this guy? And I know he's over there listening, but my first impression was very one of unassuming. I was like, I don't know about this guy. And what's interesting is the growth, and he can talk about that when he comes up here, but just from who he was then, very quiet, very modest.
Yeah.
Not very social
I see, that
person.
doesn't sound like him.
Just incredibly, he was about his guitar, and then So I think it was his 18th birthday party, or maybe he was graduating school. It was one of those two things. I went over to his house, and he was sitting there just playing his acoustic. I didn't even make it off of the little welcome mat on the inside. Like, I looked over to the left, and he was playing, and I was like, oh, I'm going to go home and get my guitar. Yeah. Went right then, drove back home, got my guitar, brought it back. We jammed.
We can jam.
And it was probably a 20-second, like, I looked over at him, just saw him. On my way home, I called Casey and I called Steven. I was like, I found our guitars. And they were both, no questions asked. They were like, get them. Went back there, jammed, invited him over to the space. And it's been like that ever since. Yeah. That was, we didn't try out any other guitarist. It was totally organic.
Sometimes it's meant to be.
It feels like it was.
Yeah, sometimes it's meant to be. You're supposed to meet people because they drive your creativity and help what you need. Sometimes it's easy.
At that point in time, we were playing.
It doesn't always have to be fucking hard.
Probably 5 times a week.
This is so much better.
The same one song, original song, just over and over and over. And I know Steve's dad was just like, man, you guys have got to learn something else.
Yeah, write something else.
It was the same song over and it.
Well, because it sounded good.
But kudos to you for just.
It felt good, too.
Kudos to you for a band just starting out to just like, we're going to do original. That's what we're doing. That takes a lot of fucking guts.
That's hard.
We've kept that mantra all the way through. There were a lot of people in the beginning saying, hey, you need to be a cover band, and we have played covers as For the Birds, but we've always done what we wanted to do. We never wanted to let the outside influences dictate what we were going to do. Well, if you played like this, you could get into that show, and then we won't be there.
That's true, yeah.
We're doing us.
We're doing us.
I would always be unapologetically yourself.
Yeah.
Like, do what you want to do.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah, do what you want to do, and this is what we got. Like, if we don't fit this bill, that's fine. We fit another bill.
Man,
cool.
It's taken me a while to get there. I'll be honest. Like, when I first started playing music, I made a bunch of money, like, playing covers and stuff. You know what I mean? And so I like.
Well, and you get to play music.
I quit my jobs and stuff, and I didn't do that.
Yeah, and that's.
And I've made my way somehow creatively, but at the same time, yeah, dude, I've sold that soul like 18 times, but yeah, I'd rather be doing the original shit. I totally would.
That's what you're doing now?
But that doesn't pay the bills sometimes. And I was doing it now because of an infrastructure that we built. You know what I mean? Like,
well, you hung in there?
Yeah, it's barely working now. You're on the inside.
I mean, I know.
Barely working.
It is incredibly difficult, especially in
this area.
Midwest
this
market,
area, yeah.
too.
I mean, because there's no machine behind you here.
And if you just go be, Chili Peppers band or whatever, and modern 90s to 2000s pop.
Yeah, you'd be making $1,000 a show. Probably.
You absolutely can.
Go to the tribute circuit. Yeah. Tribute bands make $2,500.
To me, a piece of my heart dies when I see an original band forfeit to but I get
playing in the band, a piece of your heart fucking dies.
I know.
That's part of it too.
Because I know everybody wants to play music and what they want to do. I'm never going to sit in judgment, but to me, I'm always looking for original content only. Like the cover bands are great if you're going out for a certain thing or you're hiring them for a certain thing or a wedding or a certain whatever. But I mean, nothing drives the community like a bunch of talented original artists doing their own thing.
It's special.
It
really is,
and it's not because it's not easy.
A lot of belief.
It's not easy to create a song out of
sacrifice to make it happen.
It's true, man.
Which kind of brings us back to before we go any farther. The name, right?
Yeah, keep going. So you tell us.
We were freshly hired IC, and we were practicing like 5 nights a week. Me and Casey went back to my apartment, and that was the thing. We weren't going to do other things. Still fresh in our sobriety. And we're working on a song, and he's got this chorus idea, and if you've ever heard track 1 from our first album, it's a self-titled called For the Birds. So the song actually came before the name.
Nice.
And,
who named the song?
It was another. All right, so we're sitting there, we're on my bed, and I'm sitting there just playing some chords. He's kind of freestyling, and he's like, hey, it's for the birds, baby. It's for the birds. And we both stopped, and there was this magic between us, kind of a lot like what I saw in Mike and Dale, where there was this just instinctive, intuitive, and we both...
Like synergy.
When he said it, it triggered, and we both looked at each other, and we're like, that's the band name. Like that. That's how it went. We were both just...
You know it when you hear it. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes it's best to not force it. Like, it just kind of comes sometimes.
And it really described a huge part of how we had felt, how overlooked that the addicted can be, how passed over, how demonized, and the expression, well, that shit's for the birds, that's the leftovers, that's the crumbs, and it really seemed to resonate with us and our spirit. And so came out of his mouth. We called Steven, we're like, hey, we figured it out. It's for the birds. He was like, love it, and so that was just from that point on. And there have been maybe a few times throughout the years where the guys have been like, maybe we should change the band name, but it's always stuck. And at this point, it's like, there's no way.
Band names are weird like that, man. I kind of think that all band names suck. It's really what you do with the name.
I have the.
No, it's what you do with it. The Beatles, Led Zeppelin, like
those are
none
good
of these
names, man. Those are
No.
like I think the band names just like.
Would they be good names if the band sucked?
That's what I'm trying to say. That's
Fair
what I'm trying to
enough.
tell you.
Okay, so it does.
It's what you do.
There
with
is two
the
sides
name.
to this coin, but I will say to you, if you have a really good band with a shit name, you're an uphill battle. If you're really good, it still will work. Just like movies and TV shows, if you fucking flop on the name, dude, let's all be
You
honest.
can name your band Itchy
Guys,
Scrotum,
we are
and if you
streaming.
write a
We're
number
all
one hit,
streaming.
you're in.
All of us, and you go, I ain't watching that shit. That name is stupid as fuck. So, like, like the name matters a bit.
All right. So on Netflix right now, there's a show called Louder Milk.
Love it.
Yeah, good.
That show is fucking amazing.
That show is getting 90% of the fucking views because it's an interesting name.
No, it's badass. But what you're saying kind of holds true, because I kind of put that show off for a while because I was like, Louder Milk,
I'm
what is
telling
this
you,
about?
man, the name
I thought it had
matters.
something to do with the dairy industry, like a documentary or something.
Yeah.
And then I click on it and I'm like, yeah, I'll try this.
I've watched it. It's good.
It's badass, dude. I'm binge watching it now.
So the first original content of the band named the band.
Yes.
That's fucking a cool like story behind it.
Yeah.
And now here we go. We're like, okay, we're for the birds, man. Let's nail it.
And so we started playing, like, our first few shows were down in Derby. That's where we were from. And it was, I remember the first show was at the shop, little dive bar that I knew the guys that had owned it. And I remember driving to it and just seeing that the parking lot was packed. The other bar's parking lot was packed. I pulled over at the Walgreens, throwing up in the Walgreens.
Nervous as fuck.
Nervous as fuck, dude. And I was, we portrayed a lot of confidence before.
Say that again, Andy.
But, like, as I was by myself driving and I seen all those people, I had to pull over, got sick, couldn't even get into the bar. So the beginning of the band was so electric. We were from Derby.
The
We
vibe.
spanned a few.
So everybody and their mom was there to see you this first time.
It was packed standing room. Only.
Grandma's in there.
Yeah,
we
it
got
was
flags made. They made
nuts.
signs.
And we didn't know what we were doing either. We were
So
jamming
when
hard.
you went, so we played this first set. You said you were repeating this one song over and over again. But how many songs did we actually have by the first set?
At this point, we probably had like 5 or 6 original songs, and we played them.
So you had 30
3
minutes.
times.
30 minutes of material.
We played them over and over,
So about an hour of material.
and we played them acoustically. And I think we tried to do a Chili Peppers cover. So in the beginning, I would hop onto the bass, and the original singer.
So you weren't singing at this time.
No, I was singing harmonies. It was never the plan for me to be the singer, and so that leads us a little bit farther down the road. Our first
We don't have to skip nothing. So you got who is the original singer? Can you give him a shout? Who's the original singer?
Casey Tavares.
So he and when did that transition?
So it was we're blowing out these shows. We hit one more landmark. So our second show, the day before our second show, me and Casey have had this newfound sobriety, and some of the people in that group are reaching out to us, and they're like, hey,
In the sober community?
no, some of our fucked up friends. And-
Wanting you to save them?
And they're like, hey, we see that, you're changing, and now there's this energy behind the band, and we'd played that show, and there was dreams that just weren't ours. There were people who were like, hey, you guys are going to do this. This is really cool.
So you had a buzz. You had a nice buzz going.
And I remember one of our good friends, Mark, coming up to me, and he was like, man, I'm getting ready to graduate college, and I'm just ready. I'm ready for a new life. I'm ready for what you guys have. I'm ready to give up pills, etc. And I was like, dope, man. Come over here. Hang out all the time. Same thing I told Casey. Just don't bring drugs in the house. You come over high. We'll take care of you. Just don't bring it into the house. And we wake up that next morning, and him and another one of our friends had overdosed. So the second show becomes a charity,
A benefit show.
Yeah. And it was, so the first show let us know, hey, we can do this. Not only can we do this, but we did it doing original music. Like, For the Birds believed in itself.
And again, I accommodate you in your band for standing on that. That mountain's not easy to stand on when you start.
And the second show was a pivotal moment for me personally. So that was, I remember going to one funeral, going to the next funeral, and then the next day was the show. And grandma and grandpa and moms and sisters and aunts came there
that's a tight community.
and experienced joy. I remember seeing them dance, and there was this moment where I was like, this is bigger than us.
Oh, that's important. That's big.
This is something that I can do for the rest of my life. I don't
That's
care
extreme
what
levels,
anybody tells me ever again. I don't care what my parents say. I don't care what the haters in my life say. You're never going to be this. You're never going to be that. I'm like, it's good enough because I saw the magic happen.
This is working.
It is working.
I see it working.
And there
And you
was
can feel the buzz. You can feel the
otherwise.
buzz when it starts coming together. You're finding the guitarist. You're finding the name. You're finding the buzz. The community that you're from is supporting it. You're going through a rough patch with your addiction and friends dying when you're in that world. Unfortunately, that is a part of it. Unfortunately, when you know a lot of people, unfortunately, you go through a lot of loss, and we've been experiencing it here recently too as well. But
all year long.
But like that builds a lot of character, and it sounds like it started really building a great foundation for your band.
It did, and definitely for me cemented that I wanted to stay off the drugs, and B, that I had a purpose. That this
You found something better.
Yeah.
You found something a lot better than the fucking drugs.
Higher ground.
Yeah, way fucking better. Like that's way more fulfilling.
Yeah.
It has to be. It has to be.
It feels good. It's having a positive impact on the community. And so it's kind of unknown in the band now. We've changed a lot. But originally, as a part of the band, community service was a part of membership. We would go into...
well, welcome to the Aaron and Austin Show. We got community service people running around.
we would go to, like, the old folks' home and play music for them. We would always make sure that we were taking on benefit shows, charity shows, trying to make sure that was a part of...
Give it back a bit.
You know, that we maintain that purpose.
Well, you should. It sounds like your community supported you, so you got to turn the coin and do the same back to them.
Yeah.
I mean, if Derby got behind you like that, I mean, it's hard to not. You can't turn your back on them, and that's another.
No, it was an incredible experience, and the whole ride has been incredible, up and down. So we'll go back. How do we change singers? So we get 6 or 7 shows in. Maybe now it's been about a year with the band. We got a lot more material. The original singer was struggling.
Had you recorded any music at this point? Just a quick sidebar.
I think that we had done this 4-song EP with one of IC's guitar instructors, and it's out there somewhere.
Yeah, it's always in the ether.
It does contain the music that is on For the Birds One. So we recorded the EP, and then when we went to Brody Wellman to do one, that music is on that song. So these were like the first drafts of all of that music.
I love Brody. So the switch over the singers.
Yeah, so we were. It was an interesting experience. Another one of those synergetic experiences too. So we're playing a show,
and then a ding happens.
And
it's pretty nicely timed.
Probably my phone too.
We're like mid-show, and Casey looks over at me, and we're mid-show, mid-singing. I can't remember what song it was. And he looks over at me, and I could tell he was pretty fucked up. And he just mouths to me, says, "I'm done." Because I'm done. Like that, just mouths it to me. And I knew not only did he mean, I'm done with this show. In the moment,
he's leaving.
I knew that it meant he was done in the band. It was a really weird,
You just knew.
We knew each other like that.
The way he said that.
And we're mid-song. He just sets down the bass, walks out of the club. And
oh, shit.
That was the end of him being in the band.
No
so
shit.
I'm singing right there like... Because I was doing harmonies. I'm like, all right, I'm going to finish the show.
I mean, I feel like he should have, too. I'm not going to hang that on him, but we can... I mean, feel it's your obligation, then we can but whatever.
And I don't blame him.
No, we're not. But I'm just saying.
You know,
I feel like you should finish your obligation.
It was a struggle, and he was struggling hard, and that's all that I felt for.
So
him was empathy.
So here you go. I'm lead vocals. Here we go.
Yeah, and actually with the band for a long time, it was you're filling in. You know, that we were actively trying to find another singer, but we had shows booked. I don't know exactly at what point everybody got sold out on it either. It wasn't soon. It was years. We were still kind of talking about having another singer.
And you're writing music this whole time, right?
Well, yeah, and my original thinking was, okay, now IC is going to start singing the harmonies. And, you know, he started to sing a little bit more, and the drummer was like, well, we still need to find a girl singer. We need to do this. And IC was coming along more and more, and so was I. And so I started to see, hey, this is going to work how this is right here. And
IC has an angelic voice.
He does. He's an
I think
amazing singer.
and I'm not going to look over you. You got a great voice too, Tony.
Thank you.
You're a good singer too as well.
IC put in the work. I remember, so we were both serving in a church band alongside for the Birds, and he would be doing his vocal exercises every day. He'd always be like, hey, do this with me. So we'd be sitting in the car doing all these exciting vocal exercises.
Give us a little taste of what that is like.
My favorite one was the that one. You know what I mean? Where you just do the whole range.
Nice.
And then you go back down.
Nice.
Find that point.
I love that you got in on that.
And I mean, he inspired me to be better by how hard he worked at it. You know, he really did.
Timestamp that.
If you guys have ever seen One Stone, which I know you guys have, we have really developed an incredible give and take in harmonies.
Well, that's the whole band. To me, is an incredible give and take between a bunch of great artists. I mean, you guys have morphed into what I've seen over the last 2 years of watching you guys play is a bunch of great things. Just it looks like a collaborative of a bunch of dudes that are really talented and really enjoy what they're doing. Like, you guys are fun to watch. Like, just to give you a bit of flowers, you guys are one of my favorites in town, easily. I mean, you guys really have put together a lot, for sure. So
you have a lot of potential there, man. I mean, you guys are
you
doing
guys
great
represent
things,
us well. You guys represent us well. I mean, you guys.
The next levels.
I feel like you guys are on that cusp
levels,
of like, you know, I wish we had infrastructure to push behind you, but you guys are on
that's where I'm at right now.
I mean,
that's where I feel
we're going to figure it out either way.
I think so.
We will.
Just keep doing what you're doing.
We're still hungry.
We're the same. We're the same. You know, what do we do next? We can only be in our market. You know, we can't morph to another fucking place.
Yeah.
So.
No, I've seen a lot of bands kind of over my years kind of get to a point of, okay, we won Wichita. Okay, fuck, that's not a prize. Damn it.
Well, yes, it is.
And we go like...
It still is.
No,
don't... Okay.
Listen to what I'm saying.
I know what you mean.
I'm saying that, like, we do our best that we can in Wichita, and we achieve great fucking things here. But there's nothing that's going to keep us here. You know what I mean? What ends up happening is that bands have to bounce out. Right now, Rudy Love is off in L.A., man.
Yeah, you're right. Yep.
You feel me? Like,
you're right.
Why can't he be doing that shit here? Because we don't have the infrastructure. That's why.
You're wrong.
You know what I mean? So, like, for me, it's always been about trying to build that here so that we can keep bands like For the Birds here. Because if we don't support it, you're going to bounce. You're going to go where the support is. You're going to go where the love is.
That's why you made Nest Records try to do the same thing.
Well, exactly right. I know. I totally get it.
Yeah, so For the Birds is doing its thing. We've changed the format a little bit. And now me and IC are singing. We started having that local Wichita rise. Where, okay, we're starting to win Wichita. We're playing original music. We're getting paid more than most of
Which
our
is not
peers.
easy to do anywhere, especially playing original music.
So bands, and we were always a doors open thing. That was something that I've always hated about any scene, but I see a lot.
What do you mean? Explain what you mean by doors open thing.
I think that we should share the opportunities. If I meet this club owner, I'm not going to sit on him. If I think that you can get the job done in a professional manner,
there you go.
I'm going to say, hey, hire these guys.
Doors open versus like gatekeepers.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
We've always tried our best to not be a gatekeeper. If we
well,
can
yeah,
get in, we want everybody
and it's not
else
like
to
you guys
as
can
well.
play at every venue every night. Like, I mean, it's time to always. If you think that, like you said, they fit a place, why wouldn't I fucking suggest it?
And there's just some people who just want to keep keep those things for themselves.
So
You know, I think they're afraid of
we're at 30.
competition when really it should be a competition. It's okay to be rivals. It's okay to push each other.
What I like.
That's what I want.
So what
I want us to push each other. This should not be a competition.
And I don't.
Ultimately, this
I
has
don't-
to be a cooperation.
I don't want to be overcritical, but there's something about the arts that don't quite understand competition like sports competition is. Competition should push you to be better, not to be jealous and hateful. So like we're all trying to get better. So when you see somebody, you always got that first minute of like, damn it, they got there first. I wish I'd have wrote that, or I wish I'd have done that. But then that should inspire you to do better and not be butthurt about it.
So I want to lay it out like this, okay? In Wichita, the arts, and I'm not talking music at this point, actually. I'm talking about the arts, and Music Theater of Wichita is a huge force in the nation, and we have arts council that spends millions of dollars in, like, public artwork. You know what I mean? Like that Jackie Robinson statue that just got torn down and fucked
42,
off.
Yeah, 42.
Was $75,000 statue.
I can't believe
You know what
somebody
I mean?
stole that.
So here we go. But like, so that is the precedent that
Fuck you,
arts and
whoever stole
entertainment
that statue,
happen.
by the way. Get
That's
fucked.
the precedent that we follow here in Wichita, and music is secondary to that. All right. So music hasn't developed that infrastructure like our arts scene has. So the nonprofit money that is there to be had,
You're not wrong.
it goes towards these other arts foundations that do like fucking statues, and they do
We have a
art installations.
we
and
do
that
have
shit. We don't respect our local music in the same way
our art museums
as a city, as a government.
Well, because
don't-
I feel like it's and and it's not overly critical on the artists here, but it's like we haven't had a ton of art. Like you can name a bunch of people that have hit it big in a lot of other arts, but in musically, like what's the biggest music group from Kansas or Wichita ever?
Music here, it doesn't happen.
You know,
From
like
here it'd be Manila Road.
Well, like if I say sports, I can say Barry Sanders and a handful of others. If I say
He's from Wichita.
Joe Walsh.
yeah, Joe Walsh,
Yeah, there you go.
in an Eagle that made the Eagles even cooler. I mean, Joe Walsh is an amazing
He was
artist.
my favorite Eagle.
So, like, that might be the biggest music artist.
Fucking hate the Eagles, by the way.
Well, he made the Eagles really cool, though. He made the Eagles
dude.
cool.
One thing I really like about the Eagles that I model into for the Birds is how well they all give and take. They all sing. They can all lead
They really
sing,
do. Okay.
They play drums. They play
because they're all great studio musicians.
That is a
man.
great
Yeah.
point, because that is a very, I mean,
I blame them for
the
pop
similarity
country,
between
straight
you
up.
and them is pretty, I mean, you guys have such a diverse thing. Even though you're not doing the same music, you are kind of using their same concept a bit.
Yes, for sure.
So-
and I would love for someday for Steven to get on the mic too, because he's got a really great voice.
Well,
He's a
hey,
great
we're
songwriter as
30 minutes into this. Anybody want to? If anybody over there wants to come and join and talk shit,
Let me-
We
let me
have to
real
change
quick-
batteries. I think we.
you can keep going on this.
like,
You keep going
yeah,
on
yeah,
this.
yeah. If you have,
But
So
she got to
for
change
the
batteries.
Birds,
She got to change.
opening doors.
Are we
bands
still recording?
we are.
Okay.
coming up to us to see about, hey, how are you guys getting paid? How are you doing this? The first band was Left Without Notice, and therein kind of starts the label, the idea of a label, Nest Records.
So we're going. The band you got rolling. The first song creates the band name, and now we're looking for producing this all on our own.
Well, that hadn't quite started yet. At that point, we were doing everything. We did some with Brody. We did some with Luke Wallace at Red Cat.
Great guy.
And Steven,
He
and
keeps
he can
coming up. I
talk
gotta
about
get
it a little
that
bit
interview.
more in a second, but he had a engineer background in his family. For me, the first producer I met was a guy named Jacob Mueller, and we would be playing poker, and then he would be like, "Oh, you play guitars? Come over here," and I'd come over and track. He worked almost exclusively with hip hop artists, who some you will recognize: Thain, Mike Benno, Kush Powers.
Who are those
Is that
guys?
the Immortal Buddha? Is that
No,
the Immortal
so
Buddha?
Immortal Buddha is so Jake was an engineer. I
Bet,
said
bet,
producer. I should say engineer. He did Mix Master Entertainment, and he was another guy tragically passed addiction.
Okay.
And so as the label was starting to take off with the bands, I started to build a relationship with Thain. And unbeknownst to them, I really had this vision of becoming a home for those guys who were working with Jacob. And so that is how Nest kind of starts to branch from being these rock bands into being a hip-hop and a rock band label.
Well, it's being more inclusive.
Well, it seems to be a bit of both.
How do you name it? How does Nest come about?
Well, for the birds
Was,
need a
yeah,
nest.
everything we do is bird related.
I know.
The original drummer.
Well, let him say it, fuckface.
The original drummer actually came up with that when we were in our first building downtown, which was the one that you came to a long time ago.
Yeah.
And so, shout out to Stephen Wood for naming the label, even though he's not in the band anymore. And then, so
I love that you got all these good notes.
Eventually,
I love a prepared guest.
I wanted to shout out all the artists that I got to work with. We got our second building
Give
downtown.
them. Don't honestly take a minute and do it. Shout them out.
I was over the
so
last
they don't have to
few
listen
years,
to the
I got
very
to work
end
with
of it.
Rudy Love Jr. He would come and do rehearsals.
Love Rudy, man.
And I have tracks of all of these guys that someday, if anybody gets famous, they can hit me up for the VH1 behind music because I have just recordings of their band practices, whatever we were doing.
$10,000 and you can have it.
No, it's theirs if they
half
want
a
it.
second track.
And we worked with Sir Charles and the Collective a lot. Old News was in there a few times. Stranded Music Group. That's hip-hop guys.
Yeah, I like those guys.
Then Eric rolled with Zollins, Catfish, Big Bad. Love him. Don't know if you guys heard him. But
Dude, hook us up with these interviews, bro.
Collective. That's where we met them. Did a lot of work with them. Steve still works with them.
Unconscious.
Thain, obviously. Thomas Ben. Did a couple tracks with him. Really cool guy. Yep. Moss. Kush. Benno. Flyover.
Who is now
these are all some top notch.
Yeah, you'll notice that we were working with really awesome artists that are
artists.
big name.
And I mean, shit, 50% of the people we've had on the show. So you're hitting on.
We did a couple of things with Nick Gibbs, Ethan, Immortal Buddha.
Okay.
DJ Carbon ran our Nest Fest.
And I'm working on a show for
Danger Bros, Gus Ruiz.
Yes, dude. You know, I bet that was a fucking fun show.
We did their whole live EP. And Left Without Notice, who started it all off for us. MJ12. Yes. I was going to say Phil from MJ12 was actually the first person to invest actual cash into it and built the hardware that the computer that we still use today, the main Nest computer. And got a shout out Taylor Ballinger, who you guys had in here with Charles. Yep. That's my dude.
A great audio engineer, and
yes,
a really cool,
and he's doing
really fun, cool dude, man.
Great work with Charles. He also invested hard cash and time into the building.
Yeah, we're talking about being a part of our shit we got going on too. We like.
You should, if he wants to work, you should hire him. He's a great person and a great mind to have around. Boss man Howard Olmstead,
amazing.
Been a big investor.
Oh Jesus!
And
I got stories later.
For the birds,
well, what you should tell it. You gonna forget?
We have to shout out For the Birds because the guys haven't been paid, and as long as I can remember, we've always
Shit.
invested.
Welcome to the Aaron and Austin show.
We invested everything we had into what we were doing.
That's what you do when you believe.
And I feel like, and I'm gonna say it, and I know most people don't want to hear it. And we had engineers early that was chirp, chirp, chirp. Give every artistic endeavor 2 years at least before you're even going to really start seeing residuals. You got to really invest into your brand for 2 years.
So I want to say this. I think that Wichita is a put it in my fucking hand and show me kind of place.
Yeah, okay? Yeah. Put up or shut up.
You're talking all your shit. Show me what you got, actually.
Yeah,
okay?
and keep doing it. And keep doing it.
And that's where I've had to be for so long, man. I have to prove everything that I say.
Well, you should. You should have to. This town is about word of mouth for the best advertising. Your rest of your shit don't mean shit. Everybody knows in this town whether you're good or not in a few months. It's pretty quick. So give us the rest.
And we're super close. So some things like we're super proud that we've put together hundreds of sets.
It's amazing.
More shows than probably anybody else that I know for
your local.
Different artists.
You've moved into local legendary.
It's awesome.
As For the Birds. I mean, you guys are becoming like the local headliner here, easily.
And we deserve it. They deserve it.
You do.
Everybody who's put in.
You've
the
worked
work,
very hard.
we've sacrificed a lot and always tried to give back. So I
sure.
appreciate that, and I do feel like it is our time.
Yeah.
Nest Fest 1 at Temple Live, still one of their most productive local shows. So we're just getting started, but I do feel like we've had a big impact, and the guys are hungry. Let's get them up here.
I'm excited. Yeah, man.
Hey,
Let's
let's introduce.
Break.
And now we go from Tony to all the birds.
Oh, shit.
All the birds.
All the birds. With the new album
Yeah, so
coming out. You're giving away a free album to everyone in Wichita.
Yeah, all 500,000 of them.
Yeah. Call him on his cell phone, which is
here we go.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's not what we discussed.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so this is For the Birds. First, my partner in crime over 10 years, I.C. Collins.
Icy.
Guitar and vocals. Thain, vocals. Emcee.
Already.
Stevie Shields, bass, been with us over 8 years.
Badass.
Kyle, been with us about 2 years. Pots and pans.
Fucking A.
I'm going to get out of the way unless
Well,
somebody's
it's not, hey, and I will say it's nice, Tony, to have you and Kyle on. We've had everybody but you two on from For the Birds, and we much appreciate you and everything that you do, man.
Hey,
you guys are
thanks
fucking
for having
badass.
me.
You
Yeah.
guys are fucking, and GIGI, we landed it, so that party's a go for the 5th.
So what you're saying right
That
now
50th.
is that
Shout out GG.
the rhythm section is not represented. That's what you're saying.
Who's the bassist in this, man?
Steve and Kyle.
Well, Steven's been on.
Steve. Oh yeah, you have, but with a different thing.
Yeah, but still on.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Kyle, we need to hear from Kyle, maybe.
yeah, well,
Yeah, these are my guys. I'm going to get out of the way and let somebody sit down and have this microphone.
Is there,
Stand in the back and look
before you
pretty.
jump out, is there anything that you want to say that you didn't get to say that
Yeah,
you want
wanted
to like point us to?
I wanted to plug the fact that Kush Powers.
Yes.
We're getting ready to drop his 4th album. He was the very first album that I ever did. He's a great artist, and he supported me.
Do you produce all these albums too?
What a
as well,
badass.
right?
Yes. No, not all the actual tracks. No, so he does a lot of his production from BeatStars, and then I do all the engineering, recording,
Nice,
and mastering.
nice.
And so he's getting ready to drop his 4th album. And Mike Benno, we have 30 songs of his that are going to drop on either 2 or 3 projects, and both of those should be coming out over the next 2 or 3 months.
Shout out to Kush and Benno both.
Ooh,
Yeah,
bro.
2 very talented hip hop artists in this town for sure. Hey, and so before you go quick, you got into producing. How did that? You got to give me a quick few minutes on how you pulled into the producing part of it and wanted to mix and master tracks.
It started when I met Jake, and he was a very talented engineer, and he was very open with his knowledge. And as we started to move forward and, had spent $8,000 on one album and
Jesus, yeah.
$6,000 on the next album,
Goes
and
quick.
it definitely wouldn't have happened without Steven, who also had some engineering background, and so he started.
Well, it's nice when you can start
to
moving it
learn,
in-house.
and we pushed each other, and
Yep.
we had a ton of artists that had a ton of music, original music, and there's just no way. Like for Eric, we've made 4 albums that encompass 60 songs in less than 2 years. If you're paying $200 or $300 a song on each of those, we're talking
It's a lot.
insane amount of money. So it was a matter of necessity. I'm also a live engineer, which I think gave me a foot in the door, even though they are different things.
2 different things, 2 different worlds.
So yeah, pimp
that-
your brand real quick give them before you jump off here. Tell them what you got at Nest Records. Tell them what you offer. Give them a little bit of all your.
I will tell you that you're probably not going to work with me. So, one thing that we do differently at Nest Records, and especially for me, is I only work with the artists that I want to.
Bang.
It's not like a public entity. I'm not a studio where every artist who wants to can come hire. I know Steve may or may not take you. He does a lot of per hour work.
You never know what we'll do for money. Hit us up.
I want to do.
Steve's got some availability. Hit him up.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, you never know. You never know. I would say just like you say, you don't take everybody,
His books are open.
but you also should try.
Yeah, I
It
work
might not be
with-
your thing, but you should also try. You never know what might hit.
It's a matter of, and when we got the building, we did. Everybody's like, hey, come track this artist, track that artist. And honestly, I'm an artist myself. I don't want to spend all of my time being an engineer. I don't want to be a studio engineer as my main profession. I'm trying to be for the birds. And so I work with my small group of artists to help them get their music out while we get our music out. And that's basically it for me.
And are you going to eventually, like, maybe hire a Nest Records engineer?
That was originally what Taylor was going to be.
I got you.
And then there was a split there. Taylor works primarily with Charles now. And yeah, in the future, for sure, it would be nice to have a full-time engineer. And I know Steven, he may want to be more of a full-time
I've been in his studio.
Studio engineer.
Tracks, yeah.
For me, I'm working with the artists that I have a heart for, or the people that I think need the opportunity. I'm very selective with the people I work. That's no knock or saying that I'm like the best or anything. I'm just very selective about who I work with and
Only
the
so much time a day.
that I spend. I want to work with Thain. I want to work with Eric. I want to work with Benno.
So nice transition. So as you pass the torch to Thain, so we're 4 albums deep right now in For the Birds. When did you bring Thain on to be a part of this? When did you get brought into the project, Thain?
Well, they had 2 albums on paper, like finished, like everywhere, available everywhere. They were pretty much performing off of those, and then a mixture of tracks that they had that weren't where they were working out.
So your experience coming in was, here's some stuff we gotta learn. We gotta.
My experience coming in was, I knew, I knew how to come into a professional setting, studio wise, and record. Studio trained. I knew how to perform. I was prepared in those 2 areas. But as far as what they do, completely different. I was mostly operating off of tracks. Basically from producers.
I understand.
That was
things like that.
A little over 2 years ago, and I knew that I wanted to work with Thain and Eric and Benno, everybody from Jake's label. Yeah. And Thain started with the feature and basically hired himself. He came, the only member that's ever been hired this way, and he came to every practice. We were doing that one song. He came to every practice. He might be up late, whatever, came every single practice. So one song feature turned into another song, turned to another. He never stopped coming to practice. We're like, we got to hire this guy.
Let me add to that, the dynamic, how it comes full circle is how he has that relationship with Jake Mueller. Jake was actually the engineer who got me started in that professional,
Nice.
So you guys had kind of
it's a family vibe.
You had a common bond.
So
there.
we, knew each other mutually through that, through that mutual acquaintance, but didn't ever really have conversations and weren't really in the same room and on the same shows. We were booking with the same people, same venues, same, whatever.
So we're running this parallel fucking line already.
And Jake's passing, is just one of those things. Just sometimes that brings people closer.
It's too many of those, right? We've been dealing with that a lot, but
Lately.
Well, I feel you.
Yeah, let me hop off here and give one of these guys.
So as you bring in the new rhythm section, introduce them and let them come in.
So
who are you bringing on?
I think I'll let Steven sit first, and maybe he can trade out with Kyle.
You got to get Kyle on for sure because he's
absolutely. Do Kyle first?
Yeah, come on, Kyle.
So Kyle, our last drummer was having health problems. Wasn't any sort of bad blood or anything there. And For the Birds is a machine that requires a lot of work. We practice every week. We play a ton of shows.
Play a lot of shows.
A ton of music.
Well, and you guys, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, you guys all have your own shit too. I mean, everybody's doing their. We got single. Everybody's got projects on their own. You guys are meeting up, I'm sure, for rehearsal all the time for your shit.
Kyle's audition was also his first rehearsal because I think 3 days later we were opening for Raw.
So who was the drummer before?
Jeremy Burnett, shout out. He was a great asset to the team. And he's more healthy now and looking to play. So if any dope bands out there
so we parlay
trying to pick up
him
an awesome
into
drummer.
Kyle being the
so Kyle.
Let Kyle in here. Come on, sit down
man,
here, Kyle.
You saw us on Facebook? I'll let Kyle tell the story.
Yeah, let Kyle come in.
We made the post. We made the post. Put the flyer out on Facebook.
So let's go through this. And I want Aaron. I want a little bit of all of you guys' infrastructure. You got to get to the mic if you're going to say something. But when you're always going to have sometimes you got a working band. You guys got easily a working band with a lot of potential, a lot of original content. But okay, now we got a guy that for whatever reason some ain't working. We got to move on from it. We've dealt with that as well. What do you do out for fillers for that? First, I'm gonna go to you. Because you've been in a lot of bands. So what's it like when you need to replace a band member? So like how easy is that? I know it ain't easy, but like when you're looking for somebody to come in.
I guess I want to approach that like how I leave bands. Okay, because I've had to leave bands.
Yeah, I feel like
You know,
if you've
bands
been
move
enough.
on, I'm not feeling it. I want to play it, right? So I'll tell you how I leave bands. I will play all the shows that we have committed.
Yep.
But when you book other shows, that's your new guy, you know?
Thank you for having us on.
And
That's your new guy.
there's also some situational stuff there. There's a difference between like an amicable split with your band,
Yep.
you know, or an event or something.
We try to make it
happening,
amicable.
You know,
We try to make
you're
it
right.
amicable,
You know, everyone's trying to be professionals here. At the end of the day,
I also don't fuck a lot of like band members' wives, and I don't do a lot of
See,
bullshit,
now
you know what I
that's
mean?
when it gets creepy. Like,
I'm
what's
just
that?
saying,
What's
but
that again?
that's part of it, though.
Who?
he just wants all the tea.
Kyle, pull your
Kyle,
mic
pull
in a
your
bit.
mic.
Oh, my
He
sorry.
wants names.
Pull it to you.
Oh, you want
Don't lean in.
names?
You don't have to lean in. But let's get like 2 fingers from it so we can really hear you.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you get brought in.
That's my first time on a podcast ever, so.
Oh yeah. Well,
that's
fuck.
good.
Okay. So fuck off for the birds. Okay, Kyle, tell us your whole entire life story.
Who are you? How do you feel?
Born in January.
Me too, bro.
Aquarius, 21st. And what's yours? You
26,
decided the other
baby.
day,
26. We're close.
You hit 4-0?
Yeah. Fuck off.
All right, I'm done with
I'm
this.
4-1.
Well, you gotta bring up
Thain.
bullshit.
Yeah, I'm old.
All right, bringing it back. Anyway, so Jeremy had to step away. It was amicable in our case. You know, we all loved the shit out of Jeremy, and he's a
That's what I'm
workhorse.
saying.
Also, he has a strenuous job. Physical job, and he was coming every practice and was prepared and always professional. But we just had a heart-to-heart, after a hard practice one day where we had like our whole next few months was already mapped out, and it was a summer, and he was just like, hey,
I can't
we
do
should
it.
probably talk about this. Exactly.
I
I
can't do
can't.
that.
I can't do this, guys. I love you guys. I want to do it. My health.
Shit
is
happens for a
needs to be-
reason sometimes. You know what I mean? Like it really does. Like it. For the most part, if you're not an asshole and you do shit the right way, kind of shit weeds itself
guys,
out the right way.
I feel like in bands, you're the one telling yourself you can't tell me things. You know what I mean? Like I'll take whatever it is and I'll move on, man. That's bands break up, musicians move on. Since the beginning of time.
And
That's
I'm
how
extremely
it's always
lucky
been,
because I have no frame of reference because this is my first band.
Oh, okay,
and
okay.
Tony said 2 years, but it's actually I think like March or April will
It'll be 2
closer,
years for
closer
me
to 3 years.
in-
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
It'll be closer to 3
So you're
years.
2 years in.
He's almost 2
I'll
years.
be in
I'm
2
almost
years.
3 years in.
Okay, hey Tony,
So-
real quick, is he still in the room? I see might know how old is the band? What's the
Like 10?
10, that's what he said.
No, the band is almost 12 years.
12 years, almost 12
12
years old from the very beginning.
Yeah,
From
but I
that
was-
from
I
that
was
bed
on the,
from that bed. This is the For the Birds song. Oh well, we should be For the Birds, the whole thing.
yeah.
That's 12. We're 12 years in on that. Yeah. Nice.
So like Tony was saying, we take 3 or 4 auditions, and the vibe was undeniable with Kyle. He was who we had to. There's
was
no
destiny.
question. That's who we
Well,
had to go with.
I will say, Kyle, you're
You're a great
goddamn
drummer.
good
Thank you.
drummer.
You're a great
Yeah.
drummer.
Well, I will always say.
I play drums, and
Well,
I'm saying you're a great
You're a
drummer.
good drummer.
To me, I always sit and watch, and I'm not going to say I watch Aaron because he's always hypercritical of drummers in the rhythm section. Cause
I am.
He's
I
a
am.
bassist
I
and
am.
a drummer,
I am.
and like he goes, "That guy's a good drummer." I'm like,
Yeah.
and then I like piggyback on him, like, "Yeah, that guy's a good drummer. I know what I'm talking about."
Yeah. No, I always wanted to be in a band with that style, hip hop, funk. It's just always been
Yeah.
a thing.
Not only
Style
that, but
I've
the
liked to
energy.
play.
Yeah.
But I played all different kinds of music throughout the years, like 20-something years, I think. So,
That's how you know what to play. For
That's
what
good.
you-
Well, the adaptability of your guys' band is
Yeah.
what's so much fun because you guys all have your own type of music that you do yourself, and you guys have brought that together, and you do your own shit, and it's really inspiring to me as someone that sits in the stands. And
they're
watch you guys.
incredibly easy to work with, like, just talented, very, very, extremely talented people.
So as we sit right now, I'm going to
Musicians,
ask without him in here. When we're writing music, how are we writing the newest music? Because we're about to talk about
Yeah.
the For the Birds, the message, the new LP that's out. Or is this? Do we get that?
We'll call it EP, respectively.
5 songs. EP.
Respectively, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's EP.
Yeah, I don't know what we call
Yeah,
it.
It's
anyways.
very interesting. It's
And that's a
different writing.
Okay, wait, come in. Give him a. We'll give him a mic. We'll give him a mic thing. Give him a mic thing. No, come in. Give him a mic thing. Yeah.
If you're done talking.
Yeah, stay for a sec. Stay for a sec.
Oh, okay.
Stay for a sec. We'll go through.
Steve is coming in.
Yeah,
here now.
this is a
Steve,
podcast.
the bass player.
Hey, if this is a podcast,
I would call a driving force in the band. Bass player is kind of.
That's what I look for. That's what I look
half
for.
a step to
Every song.
this way.
Step this way.
Yeah, well, either way. Yeah, you did. I know your eyes got big. Yeah, I like the flex you went too. It was nice.
It wasn't intentional.
Yeah, but anyway, hit us.
So the song Voices, originally before I came back to the band, I was recording that for Audio Pareidolia. And so I had a lot of it tracked out. It wasn't completely done. But when I rejoined the band, I left because I had a son, and I was just like, oh, I need to figure out how to be a
You
dad.
gotta be a fucking dude.
You know.
Yeah, you do have to figure out how to be a dad. They don't hand
Yeah.
you no manual.
Exactly. So
They
after
just give you a baby and give you a fucked up car seat to put in your
after a little bit less than a year, right, somewhere around there,
It wasn't even that long.
not even that long, I was like, oh, this is part of my life that I need. And I called them back, and they're going to take me back. So then I joined, and then
Well, they know working with a talented musician and a guy like you, dude. Just with podcasts with you, I know that in podcasts with all of you, I know why you guys are the way you are, because you're all talented, on point, show up, work hard, and love this shit. I mean, that's good. That's easy to get behind. Of course, they let you back in. Of course, they let you back in.
Well, and then so I had pieces of that song, and then we started jamming on them, and then Thain was like hanging around the nest, and then I don't know if you just got up and started spitting like some bars on it.
I don't know how it went because our Time Serve was technically the first song we wrote.
That's right.
Together. So
Yeah.
I don't really know. I don't know how that. I don't know how that one came to be.
Yeah, because we were covering some of his stuff.
Well, the first one always comes together, like you said. You don't even know. It's organic.
Right.
It just kind of melds, and you're like, this.
That's kind of how our
Works.
practices are.
This
Yeah.
works. Yeah.
Well, well, you can tell that's how it works with you guys because you're all talented musicians. So you go, holy shit, why are we not
It's like
doing
noodle
this?
around for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Get warmed up, but sometimes we
Sometimes
make
it
some
turns
really
into
cool
a song.
shit.
Yeah, so that's how Voices was made. There was a bunch of other songs that are on here.
Is this out? Is this the full? This full album is out currently right now.
The 3rd, February 3rd.
Oh, so I'm holding a little bit of an
Oh,
exclusive.
that's
here.
Exclusive.
A little bit exclusive.
You
here.
can't listen to it till the 3rd. It just won't work.
If I put it in my CD player, it's like, nah, fuck up, bro. It's not the 3rd, bro.
It's an algorithm.
But on the 4th, it self-destructs.
Ah, that's all right. I'm kind of cool with it.
That's the last music we did with Jeremy.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
the chapter
This-
with all of Jeremy's parts.
Oh,
you know,
way
as a
cool.
drummer.
Nice.
It's also a lot of the material that I
Lean
had.
in if you got lean in.
A lot of the material that I had to contribute to that project was also our mutual friend Jacob. When he passed, I had all this material that I was recording with him solo.
So we got a lot of tribute music on this.
I ended up
We got a lot of mix and master.
In a way,
yeah,
in a kind of
and
way,
that's
yeah.
okay. It's okay to like say, hey, a lot of people got us here with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Let him in. Let him in.
Okay.
Come on in, IC. So we got all day for all the birds. for the birds all day.
All right. So I want to say 2 things. First thing is that this project. All right. Yeah. Cheers. First things first.
Hey, love you guys. Really do love you guys.
So first things first. This whole project was produced by Steven. Yes, the songs on here feature Jeremy on drums, but we're planning on releasing a single the end of March, early April. It'll be our first song with Kyle on drums, recorded.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we're planning on dropping a whole bunch of music this year. We're no bullshit this year.
Yeah.
Lot of music, merch. That's what we got to do.
Let's
Well, I'll
show-
tell you, the Aaron Austin show can't wait to sit alongside and watch it come out. We'll be here to help you guys out.
Anything we can do to help. Yeah, for sure.
We love you guys, man. So come on in.
It should be noted that all of the music on here too was one of the first times where Steven and IC really took the reins on writing all of the melodies and the stuff.
Okay,
not that it wasn't collaborative before, but that was definitely.
Before-
I'm playing lead guitar on that.
Okay, before I forget, I know we're giving a lot of people chops on this, but before I forget, who did the artwork on this fucking album cover?
It's cool.
So it wasn't
The
technically...
front and back is fucking beautiful. of this.
Very nice.
Well, thank you.
Guys, if you're seeing this in the back, you're not, they're not going to see it for shit. But like, buy the fucking album and you get to see it. It's that fucking simple.
It technically, okay, so Icy pointed to me, but
Well, I mean,
it technically wasn't just me. It was AI assisted, and it was me generating thousands of photos until something fucking
You know
worked.
about the Wichita Toad?
Oh, don't go there.
He said AI assisted.
I know.
Man.
I saw your like little antennas.
I'll stop.
But I will tell you, AI assist or not, this is an absolutely beautiful album cover front and back.
Thank you.
For like the paper copy, and it's hard to. And I will say, as a band, as I got you guys here, as I got questions because I'm not sure. I got a question for you. What do you think when you go into making albums these days? Like, are we going to make CDs? Are we going to make full albums? Do we just release this digitally?
That's a good question.
Like
because
what?
albums don't sell.
I know. They sometimes
singles.
Sometimes the big albums
seems to be
sell.
the
Sometimes
thing,
sometimes this still sells. Like, what do you do with your decision making on that?
I want to say something. So it's kind of circumstantial. So with this particular project, since we recorded, so it's kind of a brief story. So
We got time. We got time, baby. We got time.
We initially had 13 songs. That was going to be the third album, and I'll be the first to say I was really pushing for that, to the detriment of the band. It was hurting the guys, me pushing so hard.
You were after a 13-song record.
Well, and then eventually it was like, we'll just do 10, the best 10. And then it got to the point where it's like, well, these 5 are recorded with Steve, with Jeremy. We have Kyle in the band now. Let's drop this as an EP, and then we'll do the other 5 as another EP.
Next chapter. Chapter.
Exactly. Let's move on. Let's move in the future. I think that's the
Makes
best
sense.
for the whole band.
It just made more sense, and
100% makes sense. Everybody gets that.
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
And me and Tony, we were producing for the band. Yeah, Tony, we were recording drums at his place, and then I was doing all the guitars and vocals at my place. And there's a lot of mental pressure to like make sure, like, oh, I'm not making the bass sound the best out of the song, because you got to balance, and then you're just worried that, like, if I change Icy's tone, is this gonna piss him off or something like that?
Well,
so I was like, I don't want to produce for our band anymore. I want to produce for.
Well, what you're saying, what you're really, what you're really saying is what I actually do for our podcast as well. Sometimes you need a third party that's objective.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So, like, you don't always I don't always want to make the clips because I'm just gonna pick shit that's fucking funny for me.
Yeah.
So you want a third party to pick somebody that's a little objective.
Something like you falling in a chair.
Yeah.
Instead of.
Yeah. Well,
something
I picked that clip. I'm shameless. I'm shameless on that. And that Keo in them episode will be out never. So don't ever worry about that episode.
It better be out soon. Motherfucker. Swear to God.
Fuck off. I thought it was funny. That was just we had to change over an engineer.
We're all wrong sometimes.
No, we had to change over an engineer, and it's not her priority. I ain't gonna lie to you. I will say I love all the engineers we've all worked with, but we had to change over in them, and so we have a Keo in them episode that's in the ether. So it'll be back. It'll be out eventually.
It'll be up this week.
Well, if you if you don't show it long enough, then fans will demand it.
Sometimes you want a lot of shit, and then like shit happens.
Yeah.
So anyway, where the fuck were we? Nobody remembers.
I got one thing I want to say about that.
I mean, I can't wait to hear more about this. I'm gonna actually jam this shit on the way to the Cowboy. I still got a CD player in my shit.
So I think it's really important to know that me and Steve went and did radio show KMCW. No, KMUW.
WSU.
And they're going to be playing Enemies, which is a song, the first song on record.
Strange Currency.
It's actually number 5.
The first song that For the Birds is done on record that was fully led by IC singing, fully brought to the band, melodies, everything constructed from his brain. And so we've been doing a lot of that live. IC's coming, but this is the first time in For the Birds where you're going to hear an IC-led song. It's absolutely gorgeous. They're going to play it on the radio. And I just want to give them the props for bringing that to the table. You're going to see a lot more of that in the future.
Anybody that follows this band, I'm going to even make the man blush a little more. IC is a great solo artist. Get with him on everything. Follow him on IC Collins, whatever he's got, because he's doing cool shit all the time.
Thank you.
It's linked to the bottom.
I do want to.
So
It's,
what's your guys' favorite song on the Enemies? Is that everybody's favorite song?
That's probably my favorite song.
Yeah.
Well, you sing on it, of course.
Also,
I know, but even
Also
still,
voices.
well, here, real quick, I want to say something. So, even though he's giving me shout out, which I appreciate, to me, the song obviously wouldn't be what it is without these guys. And man, I don't think I'm spoiling shit. So when you listen to the song, the bass line, and his solo, and Steve wrote a fucking cool ass keyboard part, like.
I'm jamming this shit on the way to the bar tonight.
The song is dope because of what my guys put into it. Like honestly, and it's my favorite song on the record because it sounds nothing like we've ever. Even voices, like it sounds nothing like we've ever done. Like Enemies is a dope song.
And I will even elaborate on that from a fan perspective. That you guys, that's why I fucks with you, because you guys have a bunch of talent. You guys are talented at every fucking spot. Kyle, all of you guys down to every spot that you're at, you bring something to the table, and all of your shit is not on the same shit. I'm not. When I go to a For the Bird show, I know I'm going to get an eclectic bunch of fucking cool ass music. Cool with I don't know who might sing. You guys all got shit. Am I featured on a track? I feel like, but I ain't gonna lie.
Thank God. No.
But that's what I'm saying. But I ain't gonna lie. You guys are really an eclectic bunch of great musicians, and it's really from my end. From the stands in, it's really fun to watch. I ain't gonna lie to you. You guys keep coming out with how many deep are we in original content with For the Birds now?
As far as songs,
how many songs we got? What's our catalog? 40, 50 songs?
Like that exist
Released?
or released?
Just what you got. I mean, I feel like they're all
We're at least
Release.
Is that what matters?
Release,
Yeah.
we're like 30.
Release, there's 5 here. There's 3 singles. That's 8. 2 albums. We're 28 released.
The 4 from Nashville.
Yeah,
Nice.
so we're about
They're on
30
there.
bucks.
So that's 28.
Nice.
But
And
talking
you
about
have your own
if
release,
you're talking about writing,
you have
dude,
your own release music.
we
You
got
have your own
hundreds of
release
songs.
music. I mean, you guys are fucking dipping in the
And
toe of
IC's
all of them.
IC's getting ready to drop an album,
Yeah.
ICIV, which should also be noted that we're doing
Okay,
all of
let's
that
what's that?
in-house.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
You want to give us a little taste? You don't have to like sing nothing, but when is that coming out?
you do
Give us a
have to.
little.
I'm gonna say this. So
Yeah, right.
So the last time I was on y'all's podcast,
Oh shit.
I stepped on my feet, metaphorically. I spoke ahead of myself.
When
So
we were
I-
at Monica House.
yes. So I'm not gonna say when it's gonna drop, but I will say it is gonna drop this year, and I'm over halfway done with the project. So I got, in my mind, 3 songs left to do.
Is this an acoustic album? Like, what's your like? Give us it.
You know, give
us a
What do
sample.
we
Give us a
expect?
sample.
What are we to expect?
Right now, it's I'm doing all the lead guitar.
Sample?
And
No,
I'm doing
get out of here.
Do the air guitar for him.
yeah, I'm doing all the lead guitar and I'm doing all the
we
vocals
just
too.
float a guitar in. Here you go.
Oh, I got one.
Yeah, it's coming out to be more like a hip hop album so far. With live instruments, yeah.
That's the only. I will tell, and you know this because you've been making great hip hop in this town for a hot minute.
What's this picking up on the mic?
It does, dude.
I'm just
you
drunk.
gotta stop-
I'm just
stop doing it.
I'm just
Stop
drunk
doing
picking it up.
Stop doing it. Stop doing it. Because, dude, I ain't gonna lie to you. For the first to throw it back, for the first 5 episodes of the Aaron and Austin show, my nervous ass was like,
Well, it's not even that I'm nervous. I'm just fucking
well,
faded.
I just couldn't stop doing it. So, but you know, when you write these original tracks and you're trying to write these hip hop albums, you got a lot there. I mean, there's a lot to come from you.
Yeah, for sure. And that was an easy transition, wanting to work with live instrumentation and then doing band, live instrumentation with hip hop. I'm trying to.
When you add that part when it's not, I don't want to cut you off, but when you don't have like those just flat 2-phase beat drum machines, when you actually add real instruments, when you do what like Dreamville's doing, when you do what like Chance the Rapper's doing, when you really put something behind that music, it grows to a spot that is amazing to listen to for me.
Correct, and it also gives the track room to breathe and evolve and do things outside of just rapping, which is, I mean, if that's what you like, and I like rapping.
And me too. I love bars and I love choruses. I love it. But like when you really put some music behind it grows to
that's what makes
different
Dreamville
spot.
what it is. It that's what made Kendrick's To Pimp a Butterfly what
You're right,
it is.
you're
Just
right,
the
you're right.
production,
And
willing to take chances,
and
take
I will
risks.
say even
Who's
Kid
Dreamville?
Dreamville is
J.
all of
Cole's
J. Cole's shit.
Oh, for real.
All of Boz, all of Jid, all of
I like
Smino,
Jid.
all them are the amazing hip hop. They really killing it on the national level the most, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Tyler, the creator, his new stuff is
Yeah, well, I ain't gonna lie to you. Kid Cudi just dropped an album that he has been like in the ether of his feelings for like 5 albums, and finally came back with a real
It's
good
pretty
one.
good, too.
When he hired DJ Drama to come in and help him. So like, you need people to like get you back on track. I get it, but like when I hear hip hop artists, when I hear anybody who's trying to integrate hip hop music, especially when you're fighting in an uphill battle in the Midwest, when you can really integrate some real drum mixes, some real blues guitar, some real piano. Don't forget that piano, motherfuckers. I'll say anybody in the hip hop game, don't forget that piano. Like that really gives your music some depth that the people in this area can get down with.
Yeah.
And that's what you do a great job of. You do a great fucking job of it. I ain't
For
gonna
sure.
lie.
I appreciate it. I feel like I've got to a point, and I'm always, not to say that I'm just in the content area, that I stay a student, obviously, to my craft, on the hip-hop side of things also. But I feel like they create an environment as a band where I can try, I can experiment and bring more to the table. I know I'm an asset as an MC. I know I can do, I can be an awesome MC and bring that flavor to any track. But I'm trying to expand on my ability, as a vocalist in general, and just do other things also, and they kind of make that easy. So
Well, it's worked. I would say it's worked like a fucking charm.
You do a great job.
You guys, I will say one last thing before we wrap this up. You guys have like integrated a ton of talented people into your band, and a lot of times it turns into some egotistical bullshit, and it's hard to deal with. But it's been a pleasure to watch you guys evolve, make great original music, and work together and make your own shit. Like, it's really been a pleasure. I mean, what do you think, Aaron? I mean,
I love these guys.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I love these guys too. Like, you guys are one of our favorites. So before we end this, pimp everything that you got. Everybody, throw your brand out. Everybody, get them in there.
I want to say this today, which the podcast is going to come on a different day, but anyways, we have an Instagram out now for the Birds 316. Check that out for sure. I got my music out, ICIV. Check that out anywhere you can. You want to plug your stuff?
Nest Records everywhere, 316 Thain. Keep an eye out for Nest Fest and all our future endeavors. We've got all kinds of shows announcing all the way up until I think like April or June or something. We've got a ton of shows.
Plug any show.
So we got a show
you plug a show?
February
Get outta
24th at Peerless. We're trying to blow that one up. Y'all come out to that one. There's going to be some giveaways. The bar's giving away some merch. We might even give away a couple things. I heard there's going to be some shot girls out there with a For the Birds exclusive shot. You might call it a bird shot. So y'all come out to that show.
Bird shot.
February 24th at Peerless.
No, I like it.
That's good. That's good.
Audio Pareidolia is going to have some new music coming out soon. I did a song with Adrian from Time and Space.
All right.
Fucking awesome. So definitely give it a watch.
Did you have to go on his like karate?
You got anything you want to throw in? Throw it. Come on.
Plug in, I think.
Yeah, plug it. Come on, plug back in.
Come on out.
We got time for you. We ain't gonna get skimpy on the minutes all of a sudden.
Good time.
Yeah, first off, shout out Aaron and Austin Show for having us out and letting us hang out here and talk about our stuff.
Hey, we
Thank you
love
guys.
that we
Love
have
you
a
guys.
show, but we
Yeah,
actually
love you
love
guys.
that you guys are willing to come on. We couldn't do this without you. I appreciate you guys.
Absolutely.
And so I want to shout out everybody who's helped Nest and everybody who's believed in us along the way. Be on the lookout for new music from Kush Powers, from
go.
Mike Benno, Collective Unconscious. Nothing official yet, but we do
Great
think
stuff.
we're going to be bringing Time and Space into the fold on the team. We
Let's
had them
go.
over for
I recommend it.
full
I
band,
pushed them your way.
full band jam. So For the Birds and Time and the Space, we're all in the
Beautiful.
nest writing a song
Well,
together.
I told them to go your way as far as like get your EPK together, get with Nest Records. I think they're
We love those guys. They have an awesome talent and awesome sound, and we think that we're going to be doing a lot of shows with them this year.
Let's go. Yeah.
And be on the lookout for the next Nest Fest. As of right now, we are planning to do that at the Cotillion. So that is
Shit,
like
all right.
the
Hell
last
yeah.
big venue that we haven't done a Nest Fest at. So.
Recent Hall of Famers.
If you guys, okay, so I got Alex Thomas coming on the show in a few weeks.
We do.
Shout out to
So,
Alex.
so if you guys, you know, if you guys would like us to help us promote that show, just let me know. We'll talk.
Also,
There's nothing official done there yet. We were at the Cotillion in January, and I was talking to Ryan about getting the venue and doing something midsummer. So nothing in paper yet, but that's what's in the works for Nest Records right now.
Well, I feel like the Aaron Austin show and Nest Records, we can make that happen. Let's have fun. Let's have some fun.
I love you guys.
also
I really
this
do.
this Saturday, I think it's Winterfest at Temple Live. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, Monica House's event.
Brought on by Monica House. We'll be
Yeah.
there. It's also
That
our album, our
might
EP
be out
release
after
date.
it.
We have February 16th. We'll be in Kansas City at Westport Bowery with Jerry Robinson from Strange Music and Alan Wayne the Prodigy.
Say this one more time.
ATM.
What's that release date? Say that one more time. February 3rd. So
You can get it at
download
at
this on all. Can we download this on all platforms? And what is the first platform that would be the best for you guys?
Probably Spotify.
Spotify. So help them out first. Even if I use Spotify, I use Apple, whatever you use, go to them.
Pre-save it now.
Yeah, well, yeah, I already got it. Well, I already got it pre-saved. It's already out on Apple. The Apple
pre-save it
pre-save is
now.
the shit.
And you can find a music video for Voices on YouTube that is already uploaded, although that is a remix of that song. So
Well,
it's-
and
Totally different, totally new.
Remix.
and an exclusive
Been
release,
re-remixed.
an exclusive January 5th or July 5th. July 5th, we're going to have For the Birds and Time and Space together on the same note.
Let's go.
God willing.
At Kayla's new bar over there. It's called a Brick
The
Room.
red brick room.
The Super Bricks
You
Mario.
fucking your ass.
Shit bricks.
dude.
Shit
You
bricks. Hit
know. The
the
red
stand.
brick room.
Whatever.
Don't listen to this
whatever
fuck.
the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
They've already agreed, so I'm gonna put it on. I'll put it on the podcast so they came back out. we got Time and Space opening for the Birds for Gigi's 50th birthday party over at the Red Brick Room,
something about
The red
bricks.
brick room.
and then we're gonna pack that fucking place. I think we can get.
It'll be cool. It'll be cool.
I think the code is like $250 in that room.
Guys, Kayla has been knocking it down. She
Yeah,
was,
she-
she
It
was
looks
on
great.
the
Looks like it's coming along.
Well, and she's also
bar boss.
Let's also give Kayla and Jeannie their credit. The Cowboy Inn and the Jukebox have supported the Aaron Austin show from the very beginning.
Sponsors.
They're also official Tuesday sponsors of the bars. And if these guys got a little extra time, that's where we finna go.
That's
after
where
this.
we're gonna go.
So as we close it out, we appreciate both of them and make sure that you get anything with this album coming out again.
February 3rd.
There it is.
And
There it is.
Tavo X has an EP coming out, and
Love
Sunset
Tavo.
Motel has a full album.
Let's
coming
Look
out.
at all that Nest
Stuff
Records
coming
is
up.
doing.
Make sure you peep that Mike Benno featuring Thain.
It's hard.
Aaron and Austin, radio show. It's fucking